As my phone runs out of memory and I have to start this second part to mind. Chuck used to just pump weights, and man, the man was incredible. But we lost touch. 9/11 happened, September 11th, 2001. My girlfriend in high school had a miscarriage, lost her baby, my high school sweetheart. I freaked out, she freaked out. She moved up here to Washington State, strangely, as a coincidence, because her dad was stationed up here in the United States Air Force. I came to visit her and then found out when I came up here to Puyallup to say hi that she was a lesbian. And she liked dating women. And we parted ways peacefully and hung out afterwards, I think once or twice with Olga and Chuck, but I think what really caused problems was Chuck's challenges he had. But he was one of the first people in my life that taught me about mind. I had coaches in baseball and soccer teams I was a part of, but he taught me about mind and respecting the weapon that he put in my hand to fire and to not cause harm, but to help with strength and power and restraint. He said, no, you don't need the Navy. My friend Ryan went into the United States Marine Corps and probably would have joined with him if he would have joined the Navy, but I wasn't ready to just go and be so quick and agile. I had a baby die and could have sat with people in the Navy, but just didn't feel the energy to hold a weapon and defend the country. So he went off to Iraq and fought, and I stayed here and followed what the friend I had from the Navy said, and he said, go to college and go in as an officer if I really want to. But he said I didn't need it. He said it was a lot different than when he was in the Navy. Now, back in 2001. So I did what he said. I came up here to Washington State, went to school in Bellingham, graduated from the university, Western Washington University, talked to the recruiter, trained, got down to 10% body fat, 8%, who freaking knows? I was freaking ginormous. Every day, 5, 6 a.m. with a trainer, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go, ready to go, every single second. And then, lost all my energy, lost all my concentration, my focus just fell apart. And they said I was moody, they said I was bipolar, I was in need of medication. Possibly got scanned once, but I don't really remember. And then 4 or so years later, a man breaks into my home, and I'm only explaining these circumstances because they help with the mind and what kept me safe during what I'm explaining. The man broke in 2012, assaulted me, bloodied me, beat me, bit my finger, bit my arm, bit my chest, jumped out the window when the police showed up because I was able to get out of the room after defending myself and fleeing. got arrested, and released months later. No felony charge, no stitches in my mouth, the missing gums didn't matter, the facial lacerations, the terror, none of it. All because I didn't get stitches and they didn't do the threading of the needle in my mouth. Scanned me for a concussion because I got knocked unconscious. Found a mass, they said, that was in a bad place. Referred me to treatment. I went to Northwest Hospital, visited with Dr. Klein, sat down, said, okay, we'll go slow. I think this is this type of tumor. I don't remember the specific name he said. But shortly thereafter, we had to change the whole plan from what he was saying with, I think, Gamma knife or some sort of radiation treatment, where it just shrinks and dissolves it, because it was a benign tumor he was diagnosing me with. And grew overnight, almost doubled in size from what I remember the doctor saying, pushed into my right optical nerve, gave me double vision. I'm looking around in the morning confused, couldn't catch my breath fast enough and had to wait, I think, almost a few weeks to actually go back and say, I don't know what's going on. I got double vision, and got looked at like I was nuts because I hadn't gone in there sooner. Went back to Dr. Klein, got sent to Dr. Ferra Jr., who worked with Dr. Klein in conferences and specialized in the kind of tumor that Dr. Klein was diagnosing me with, theoretically, without doing a biopsy yet. They said, well, no, the benign tumor he was talking about wouldn't have caused this kind of growth this fast. This was, this is something else going on. And Dr. Ferra Jr. said, yeah, it's most likely chordoma. We'll get you into surgery, get you better. Got me better. I'm here now. No cancer so far. And it's about 7 years later. So what does all of what I just said have to do with mind? More than I can say without crying to have to pause the video from just being too emotional. I was homeless. I was staying in shelters because I couldn't work. I didn't know what was going on. Barely aware, but knew how to pay attention. My martial arts training, my firearms training helped me with knowing who's got the weapons, who's got the evil. Made friends with good men who fished on boats in Alaska and slept under blankets with a bloody man. The one time I did sleep outside under a blanket, who had been hit and smashed and hurt for who knows why, but he was trying to get warm, and a lot of times teaming up in pairs was better than just going out on your own. In 2010, it was when John T. Williams got shot crossing the crosswalk in Seattle, Washington, with a wood carving knife. and people protested, and I marched too. It was messed up. And then I worked at New Horizons with kids and had to go to work, had to be positive, had to have motivation and inspiration, and I kept learning about Buddhism. My mind got stronger. My heart got more sad sometimes. My body got skinny and thin, and my face got distorted from the tumor. But I learned and I learned and I learned. I didn't do drugs. Barely drank. I went to church. I prayed. And that's the end of this part of Mind video.